Hi, I'm Ainsley from A Mama with Trauma. You know, one of the things that I have started to allow, not even, I don't think allow is the right word, but I'm starting to finally recognize for myself, um, and I didn't realize this for the longest time, that part of me, a very small part of me, is missing my family, like my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandma, my aunt, uncle, my cousins. I cut myself off from them about almost 2 years ago. And I still, part of me still has pockets of memories of like good times, like especially with like my mom and my dad and my brother. And I genuinely am recognizing that there's still such a sense of loss. Like I don't get to share memories. I don't get to share what I'm going through in my really good days, or being able to see my daughter, see her grow, and being a mom, and how I'm a parent. I don't get to share any of that with them. And because of that, there's such a longing and so much grief and sorrow that I sometimes feel more on more days than others. And I think that's been on my heart, and I just didn't recognize it because part of me is so hyper vigilant on not wanting to like like make a decision that's going to be have profound effect. Like this part of me that is missing them, I think in the past, when it has come up, I have allowed it to really come up and almost make decisions and choices, and it's gotten me back into a cycle of where I've been in gotten myself back into contact with these people. And I'm afraid of that happening. I'm afraid of like almost like feeling weak and wanting to like this part of me connect with them, and it becoming so strong that my present self isn't able to like stay in charge. And I'm nervous about that, and I'm scared about that, and I'm afraid that um the longing and the grief is going to be so strong that I just am not going to be able to bear it, and I'm going to want to run back home, which doesn't really exist. And I think those are the things that I have to constantly remind this part, like, yes, those feelings are real. You're really feeling that grief and that sorrow and that longing, but what you are remembering and those pieces of what you're remembering is a sliver of the actual whole reality. And I have to keep reminding myself that. I have to keep reminding myself over and over again that you can feel these feelings. You can feel these feelings, but you can't operate in them. You can't operate in them. You can't make decisions that are going to affect me, that will affect the safety of my life and affect the safety and protection of my child's life. And those are really, that's a really big position to be in. And also, I recognize how strongly or how weak, I don't know which way, this part has been, that in the past it's actually been able to like take over and make decisions that have put me back in harm's way. And um like the betrayal I hold within myself towards myself because of those decisions, and not wanting to go down that road again, not wanting to be in that mess with those people, and my mind starts over analyzing and making things logical about like, oh hey, this is how you can do this. And again, I recognize this is the trauma of what my mom's abuse was, is that she would make emotions logical, like make whatever she was feeling or a feeling that was coming up, like she would make it for her a logical reason why she was operating in, like, say, anger, or a logical reason why she overstepped a boundary, or like stuff like that. It made sense to her, but even though it was harming another human being, like, I recognize that, and that teaching is imprinted in me, and within my own self I still have tendencies to do that. I still have tendencies to, okay, like, analyze something to where, like, oh, this makes sense, so I'm going to do it. And other side of me is just like, do not stay away. They are not safe. They do not care. That is not real. Whatever you are trying to create is not a real situation. They are not going to welcome you back with open arms. It will be wrought with so much, it would be wrought with so much stuff. But even this, like, having to have myself have this conversation and be honest and real about, yes, I do miss them, and the sorrow of them not being a part of my life is very real. And there's so many moments where I just wish I could talk to my mother or talk to my father, or have um you know family members to support me and that kind of stuff, but it just does not exist. It's not a reality. It is not the truth. Everything pretty much was false sense of facade. It was just a facade, and it looked nice, and it maybe for like a moment in the sun, but the second the cloud went over the sun, or the nighttime came, like, that's where, like, the real nitty-gritty of my home life and my family came out. I'm Ainsley from A Mama with Trauma.